This is a short video on Gippsland's Nooramunga Coastal and Marine Park and the thousands of migratory birds, some endangered, that visit its feeding and breeding grounds every year, many from the Northern Hemisphere, before returning home. It is also the story of Australia's largest Ramsar wetlands and the many thousands of native bird, animal and marine species, some critically endangered, which find safe harbour here. It is a story of great government foresight 25 years ago to set aside, protect and develop this important ecosystem, spending large amounts of capital to improve the environment. It is a story of eagles and parrots, of mangroves and fishes, of seagrass and mud crabs, of bugs and butterflies in a pristine and vital national park. Oh, and it is also the story of a proposed wind farm with more than 100 massive blades slashing the avian flight path over a widespread area at speeds of 250 kilometres per hour. A wind farm with more than 30,000 tonnes of acidic concrete and tonnes of reinforcing steel buried deep in the watercourse, which will rot, rust out and leach into this delicate ecosystem over the next 50 years. Finally, it is a story of a government which thinks this isn't cause for concern. The Victorian State Minister for Planning, Richard Wynne, decided that an environment effect study on the impact of the proposed Alberton wind farm on this delicate ecosystem wasn't necessary. This video is designed to demonstrate why many of us disagree. There are two main environmental concerns: what occurs above ground and what occurs below. The proposed wind farm will be on the very edge of the Nooramunga Marine and Coastal Park, the 30,000 hectare vision of previous governments. This is in addition to the 28,000 hectare Corner Inlet Marine and Coastal Park. Protected from the pounding surf of Bass Strait by barrier islands, the quiet waters of Nooramunga Marine and Coastal Park create an intricate network of waterways and islands framed by the majesty of Wilson's Promontory. The park consists of shallow marine waters, isolated granite islands, intertidal mudflats and a complex of over 40 sand barrier islands. Both these parks are recognised as wetlands of international significance under the Ramsar Convention. 32 species of migratory waders have been recorded, including the largest concentrations of bar-tailed godwit and great knot in southeastern Australia. Thousands of these migratory birds will risk an ugly and needless death as they come into land after a long flight or as they leave to travel north again. Each turbine occupies an airspace of more than 4 acres, with the tips of their blades travelling at more than 200 kilometres an hour. Wind turbines kill millions of birds and bats every year, and this proposed wind farm site is home to or will have thousands of visiting migratory and native species. Literally tens of thousands of potential bird deaths. The following images are unpleasant, but absolutely necessary, so we will view without comment. The eagles in this segment have all been photographed in the past fortnight in the immediate area of the proposed wind farm, yet Synergy Wind's consultants stated there were none to be seen. We know this to be completely wrong. What else have they missed? Our eagles and other raptors face many threats and don't need to spiral down into a killing blade. Not just birds and bats, but insects are at great risk. Wind turbines act like a great vortex, sucking insects in and spitting them out the other side. Each blade acts like a sweeping, gigantic fly swat. It is estimated that in some parts of the UK, turbines kill more insects than pesticides. Many birds, bats, fish and other marine life, wholly dependent on insects, face a bleak and uncertain future. Now to the potential damage caused by thousands of tons of corroding concrete and rusting steel. Each turbine will sit on a base of 1,300 cubic metres of concrete, full of steel reinforcement. As the concrete breaks down, dangerous sulfates and other chemicals will enter the soil and therefore the water table. Rust and corrosion from reinforcing rods add another threat to the mix. The water table is as little as 2.5 metres below the surface and gradually feeds into the waters of Nooramunga. The Jack and Albert River Restoration Project, massively supported by government and private funding and thousands of hours of volunteer labour, is transforming the quality of the waters in Nooramunga and Corner Inlet. This 10-year exercise is ongoing, and just weeks ago a world-first seagrass planting exercise was conducted. This is the Albert River, the very border of Nooramunga. On one side, wetlands. The other side, farmland, with turbines less than 300 metres away from this declared nature reserve. The government had the foresight to declare, nurture and protect this precious part of Victoria. Why put all that at risk with an onshore wind farm? We are not against alternative energy. There is a proposal for a major offshore wind farm in the same area, which will be much safer, much more efficient and much gentler on this delicate environment. Given these major environmental issues and the community health and safety aspects, there really is cause for concern.